Hey, what up everybody? This is Steve Breach coming to you here today. Before the Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm fight at UFC 193, the talk of the town was all about the strawweight championship fight that was going to be the co-main event with the women's going out there. Joanna Jędrzejczyk going up against Valérie Létourneau out of Canada. Joanna Jędrzejczyk has been champion for 10-0. I will honestly tell you that this is the first time I've ever heard of her. I honestly didn't even know that there was another women's division inside of UFC other than the division that Ronda Rousey had fought in. I think that she had just overwhelmed the women's division, being such a big star that I honestly didn't even know. I'd seen other women fight, but they've always been talking about the road to Ronda Rousey, so I guess I've only paid attention to the division that she's been in. But for the pre-fight, sort of package that they put together, they really made Joanna Jędrzejczyk look like she was a great white shark, man. They made her look like she was one of the most vicious fighters there's ever been inside of the octagon. Very fast with her feet, very fast with her hands. You knew that she was going to be a very good fighter, but they also told you that Valérie Létourneau, she's 3-0 as a kickboxer, was going to be one of the toughest tests for Joanna Jędrzejczyk that is out there. A lot of people said that Joanna Jędrzejczyk, this was going to be a star-making performance. A lot of people are going to be buying this fight in order to see Ronda Rousey and find out that Joanna Jędrzejczyk has just as much talent as Ronda Rousey does and how great of a fighter that she was. Joanna won her last fight via TKO in one of the biggest, bloodiest battles in the history of UFC, and for it being a women's match, it has so much more, history behind it, and I just couldn't believe the carnage that I saw when I was watching this. Valérie is probably one of the most dangerous fighters to step up against Joanna, and we saw this in round one with basically they were having lots of action. Both of these women had very fast feet, very fast hands. Joanna basically struck Valérie with an elbow that swelled her right eye up pretty fast. And from there, we also saw Valérie get struck with one of Joanna's front kicks right to the face, where basically she had to turn away from the action. Luckily, she was able to recover very fast. But when she did land this front kick, you could tell that Joanna really smelled blood in the water. And, she was really going right after Valérie. But there was lots of kicks. There was lots of punches inside of this. Round two is much the same as round one. But in round three, we saw with these girls, they probably got a little bit tired. Lots of holding. They took each other up against the cage. We didn't really see any ground action during this fight. But I think that during this round three, there was somebody, I think mostly Valérie, trying to get to Joanna to try to take her down onto the ground. There was even one point when the announcers didn't talk about it, that it even looked like Joanna tried to bite Valérie in the corner. In round three, you could really tell that Valérie was honestly very overmatched in this match, and Joanna just was so much better than she was. Joanna was starting to gain a lot of confidence in round three, starting to open up her stance a lot more, and those strikes seemed like they got very, very hard. In the corner during round three, Valérie's corner basically said that she was down 3 rounds to none, and that she needed to switch this up. She needed to take it onto the ground, which she was never really able to do. Joanna really, could see that she was owning this fight. She was backing, up. She was backing up Valérie with her blows every time she came into this. There was lots of leg kicks, lots of combos from Valérie. You could tell in the corner for round four that Valérie had, swollen eyes. She had blackened eyes, and she left everything out there on the octagon floor. But basically, when it comes down to it, she was just too strong. And Joanna took this fight 5 rounds to nothing, and the judges basically took no time to figure this one out at all. Joanna Jędrzejczyk moved on to being 11-0, keeps the strawweight championship, and for here, we'll see where she goes, because during that pre-fight sort of rundown, they were saying that Joanna had owned the UFC division so much that basically she, a lot like Ronda Rousey, was thinking of taking time to step away, maybe even retiring from the sport.